Good morning. I am just about to enter Smoky Mountain National Park. Um, Spent all day yesterday at Standing Bear with, about like 10, 15 other people. It was unbelievable. I think I need to re-rank like my hostels from the trip, because that was the single best time I've had at a hostel on the entire AT. And it was just, I think, the convergence of people who wound up showing up. So, yeah, it was just like, someone described it as like a contact high of giddiness. Like it seemed like a slumber party, like a sleepover. Like when you were a kid, where it's just everyone's laughing and talking and telling stories, and we were just like sitting around by the kitchen, just talking, and just had a great time. It was the single best time I've had at a hostel. And then we ended the night. A few of us stayed up and played Scrabble. So Maisie and I won. But we were the only team too, so I don't know. That probably gave us an advantage. But yeah, I really want to document how much fun I had there and how kind of hard it is to hike away, because some people stayed there. I actually would have really liked to hike with that group the whole time, but yeah, I do want to keep on hiking and keep on moving. That place can definitely be a vortex. That's the closest thing to a vortex that I've felt on trail, and usually hikers refer to that as just they say they got vortexed, like they get stuck at a hostel or a town and then they never leave. So I just wanted to get back on trail, get into the Smokies. But yeah, it's just so much fun. Like, I haven't laughed that much on trail the entire time, and I think it was just a group of people who were there. So yeah, I'll remember that. That'll be such like a distinct memory from the trip when I look back on it, was that stay at Standing Bear. So just had so much fun. Pivoting to the day today, there's a shelter 10 miles away and a shelter 18. So I'm trying for the one that's 18. Weather has been so weird. Thought I was gonna miss the rain. Then it looked like I was definitely gonna get rained on today. Now it looks like maybe I won't get rained on, but then it looks like it's gonna snow later tonight. So it is just like all over the place here, and it's getting to the point where I'm just not even worrying about it, and I'm just gonna go up into it and go up into the Smokies and see what happens. So that's what's happening right now. So here is the boundary for Smoky Mountain National Park. You can see we gotta deposit some permits here, so I got mine. I already put mine in. It costs $20. Costs $20 to get the permit for thru-hikers to go through. And you have, I'm not sure, I think you have like 8 days, but I'm looking at it now and it says it is valid until December 17th. So, yeah, and it goes from Davenport Gap to Fontana Dam. And yeah, $20, you put it in at the boundary. You kind of just rip half of it off, and there's a copy on the other half that you keep with you. And yeah, that's that process. I think most people would do this in hot springs, where you fill the form out online and then print it off in hot springs. There's a library there, and also the outfitter will print it off for you. So today, I know I said I was going to go like 18. I think I still want to do that. Within that 18 is around 6K of elevation. So first day out of Standing Bear going southbound, I think your goal is to really get up to elevation for the Smokies, and then after that, really doesn't look that bad. Like, you're just kind of bouncing up and down between 5 and 6K. But the first day, I'm only at 2K right now, so I gotta really build up. So it's gonna be a long, tough day, but had a lot of good food and rest, and yeah, my first 0 in a while, so yeah, feeling good, ready to do all the elevation and get up to some of the higher peaks in the Smokies. All right, it is raining in the Smokies. I've been probably getting rained on for the past hour and a half. I'm at the intersection for Mount Camerer. You'll see it here. Pretty cool signs here in the Smokies. I have heard that this trail going to Mount Camerer is pretty amazing, but not today. If you can see all around, I am not going to get any views, and also it's a 0.6 out and 0.6 back, so this one I think will be in the category of I should come back and do it, because I've heard the views are amazing from multiple people, but in these conditions, cold, wet, and super foggy, not gonna do it. But if you're coming to the Smokies, and especially if you're going on the AT, Mount Camerer I think is a good one to try and check off and go and see, even though it's gonna add 1.2 miles to your overall trip through the Smokies on the AT. Here's what the trail is looking like today. It is foggy, dreary, and cold. The cold is just like rolled through in the past hour. It's just been so incredibly clear that a cold front's now here. And of course I was already wet from the rain, but I just kept moving. Also just ate some candy bars and like a Nutter Butter bar. Yeah, just give me a little energy to help me warm up a little bit, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep moving, and the rain has pretty much stopped, so I can feel that I'm slowly drying out. But yeah, not much views today. I assume it's gonna be like this for most of the rest of the day, but I think tomorrow it's gonna be cold, but it should be a good day for I think Charlie's Bunyan and Clingmans Dome, if I get that far. But no views today. Some things have changed. Yeah, we got snow last night and it probably dipped down to close to 15. They warned me about the Smokies being cold, and then it gets cold, so it happened. You can tell I kind of like this stuff. I think it's fun. I got the gear. I'm like plenty warm. It's just, it makes it fun for me. So today I think should be even colder, going over Clingmans Dome, and within that area. Doesn't seem too windy right now, but I think with wind chill it was 5, like feels like 5 with wind chill. So definitely going to be using a balaclava, probably wearing the down jacket for most of the day, and yeah, it'll be cold. Everything's frozen. I don't know what else to say other than that it's, you know, this is what could happen in the Smokies in November, and it happened. So this is what my trail is going to look like today. This is absolutely gorgeous. Just a super thin layer of snow, and definitely up into some of the balsams and firs in the Smokies. I love this weather. A lot of people don't. There's about there's 5 other people at the shelter last night. Does present some challenges with sleeping. Of course, you want to stay warm, but also you gotta sleep with your filter so it doesn't freeze if you're using a Sawyer, which a lot of people are. So I'm doing that. Sleep with your electronics so they don't get too cold. And then also just in the morning, you know, packing stuff away, your hands get really cold. So I'm just trying to do that pretty quick today and just get moving. I do have these like little down gloves, so I'm pretty toasty. I'll probably at some point take the down jacket off and just wear fleece, just because I'm going to be moving all day. And this forest is so nice. I'm just gonna, so you can see that instead of me. Yeah, and it would be fitting that on the day that I'm going to the tallest mountain on the AT, it will be the coldest day on the AT. I'll try and get the official temperature reading at some point when I'm editing the video, but yeah, I think it definitely is down into the single digits for wind chill, and probably 15 to 20 I'd say is the low for today and tonight, in terms of actual temperature. But definitely going to be a cold day out here, but I love this. I mean, it's so special that I'm going to be able to get the Smokies in a thin layer of snow. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm just going to be enjoying every second today. So, trail is more of what we saw earlier. Perfect winter wonderland. Everything's kind of just like dusted in snow. All these mossy trees and icicles. I have changed out of the puffy because I was starting to sweat. Once you get moving and everything kind of thaws out from the night, my goal is not to sweat. I think it's really important when it gets this cold. So I'm just in I got a wool base layer on up top, leggings on in the bottom, and rain pants. Over top of the base layer, I got this red fleece, and then my normal hiking shirt is like a wind barrier, balaclava that I can pull up, and then just a winter hat. And that's been pretty good. Like, I'm not sweating through this. I think it's just warm enough. My main issue right now is water. It's freezing. So even on the outside of my pack, it's definitely freezing. I put it on the inside, still freezing a little bit. So I wrapped it up in my down jacket, the liter of water that I got, and I'm gonna put it in there. Probably should have taken like one of my wool socks and just lined the bottle. That's always a good trick. Worst case, I'll just find like a flowing source and just drink directly from it. I'm kind of worried about using my filter in this weather. I do have iodine tablets, so I might bust those out and use that. But if I'd say I had one concern right now, it's just water freezing over long periods of time. But there's a lot of flowing sources around here that I can use. But other than that, just enjoying the scenery. Again, I got a little sketchy down path coming through, but yeah, everything here is just so beautiful. It's gorgeous out here. And here's some views from Charlie's Bunyan. You can see we're above the clouds. Everything's frozen over. I could go up there, but it's really icy. So I'm just gonna hang out here, and yeah, what an amazing view. Charlie's Bunyan. So here's Newfound Gap, and it is just like frozen over. There's a million people, but they do have heated restrooms, so I took advantage of that because using a privy in freezing temperatures is not fun. So yeah, I did that. Also, I think this monument in the background is when I think Theodore Roosevelt dedicated the park. I could be wrong on the Teddy Roosevelt thing, but this little platform is where it was done. I know that for sure. And I guess the special meaning to this place for me, I was here last year with Elise in March, I believe, and at that point I had not committed to hiking the AT. So now that I'm here as a southbound through hiker in the exact same spot I was less than a year ago is like unbelievable to me. And yeah, I'm just thinking of her, thinking of like everything I've accomplished in this point. It's like, it's hard to explain. This place is unbelievable, that I'm here right now, like around 200 miles left on a through hike. So Newfound Gap, and you can see it's definitely just a maze of people. They opened the road, so the road was closed, and then they opened it, and now everyone's here coming up taking pictures. So I am gonna hike on out of this maze and stay at a shelter, I think right before Clingmans Dome. So I've changed some plans, not doing the go all the way to Clingmans Dome. It's just I'm not moving fast enough, and I don't want to night hike in the cold. So yeah, that's what's happening. Hey there, it is about 6:15 in the Smokies. You could see some snow coming by. I'm trying not to blind you with the light. I'm at the Mount Collins shelter turnoff. It's about 0.5 miles to Mount Collins. Been a pretty amazing day, kind of just spectacular with views. Yeah, I've been on like cloud nine all day. I was hiking with one guy, and yeah, it was just kind of like, why are you so happy? These conditions are like, it's cold. But I just love this weather. So yeah, only thing I'm not loving is the freezing water, and the fuel. Like the fuel canisters I'm using are like really not efficient in this cold of weather. So yeah, so I'm gonna mess around with that tonight, hopefully eat some hot ramen and have an early night, and then tomorrow morning in the freezing cold again. Temps are not gonna get any better, at least for tomorrow. I think the next day it will. Tomorrow morning will be Clingmans Dome, so we'll save Clingmans Dome for some intense early morning cold weather. But yeah, I'm gonna send off for the night because I'm not gonna film at the shelter. Gonna be too cold and too busy eating. So take care, have a great night, and hope you enjoyed all the winter weather in the Smokies. Good morning from a shelter, the Mount Collins shelter, in Smoky Mountain National Park. Stayed here last night. Couldn't see it behind me. There we go. Or I'll just flip it. Stayed here with last minute. Another guy I've been hiking with. Did not feel nearly as cold as the night before. I think just because it was already at that temperature, so you know, it wasn't that drastic decrease in temp that we had the night before. It also wasn't as humid out. I think that affected things. But yeah, this shelter is like 0.4 off the trail, so I got to do 0.4 back, and then we have maybe 3 miles to Clingmans Dome. So I'm gonna be cold up there for sure, but I am ready for the highest point on the AT. Highest point on the AT on the coldest morning of the AT. I'm not sure if it was yesterday morning or this morning, but either or, today and yesterday are the coldest days I've had on the entire trail. So either way, it'll be a cold day on Clingmans Dome. I wonder if I don't think anybody's here. Clingmans Dome, highest point on the AT. Clear day in every direction. Update on the day so far. Clingmans Dome, amazing, great views, unbelievable. And yeah, just hiking out. So last 2 days in the Smokies. Should get to Fontana Dam tomorrow at some point. Not as cold, so I'm actually in shorts right now. And I think going forward it's not going to be that cold, even though it might rain tomorrow. So there's that. 2 things I picked up for cold weather stuff. Lining your water bottles. Just take like a sock, wool sock. Line your water bottle will really help it not freeze. That and the fuel canisters. If you're cooking like below freezing, warming them up, just putting them like in your shirt and then cooking really help the efficiency. I was not doing that the day before and I wasn't getting the right heat. So yeah, they don't really perform well below freezing, but if you warm them up, they'll do a lot better. So yeah, so just at a shelter and just gonna eat a bagel and then keep hiking on. Here we are, 2,000 miles. 2,000 miles hiked. That's a lot of miles. And what a good day to hit 2K on. Clingmans Dome, freezing cold morning, still snow on the ground. Let's see, 2K, still feeling good. I'm definitely getting a little weary, a little tired. Yeah, I'm like, I definitely feel like I've hiked 2,000 miles. My feet hurt. Well, feet hurt sometimes. But yeah, I guess I'm just, you know, proud of myself for hitting 2K. Not many people can say they've done that, and yeah, it's just a big accomplishment for me, so loving it out here. Smokies have been awesome. It's still a little cold. It's weird. It kind of like comes in pockets. Like it'll be so warm and then you'll turn a corner and it feels like it's like 10-15 degrees colder. So I'm just like taking layers on, taking layers off, kind of all day. And then tonight, I think the low is like right around freezing, maybe a little bit below. And then tomorrow morning, we're gonna get some freezing rain. So this has been like a full experience in the Smokies of like kind of most people's nightmare scenario of cold and wet, and snow and deep freeze. That is I mean, it started out raining, and then the next day absolutely froze, coldest day on trail, into another day of deep freeze, into another day of freezing rain. And that will be my trip through the Smokies. So that is one heck of a trip. But I've enjoyed it. I like cold weather hiking as long as it's not dangerous or anything. And I haven't really felt in danger here. And yeah, I still got like a day and a half left getting out to Fontana Dam. So here's what the trail is turned into. It's just kind of like a slushy mess, and it's impossible to keep your feet dry unless you're wearing some like waterproof liner or something, which I don't have. So I think, yeah, it did get warmer today, probably close to like 35-40 degrees peak sun. So the trail is really just wet and very muddy in certain areas. So figure I'm going to be dealing with this too. I'll add it to the list of the full Smoky Mountain experience for me. Figured I would give like a little background on some of the places in this area outside of Standing Bear. The one talked about most is Gatlinburg, and probably the other is Franklin. I guess you go one way at Newfound Gap, which you saw in the video yesterday. You go into Franklin. The other one you go into Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg gets like a lot of hate on trail because it's very touristy and gimmicky and gaudy. It's just kind of like a sub Disney World chain restaurant, arcade place, mini golf, you know, gift shops, things like that. So it's not like it's not like a hiker town. I would never call it like a hiker town, but it does have some like outdoor related things, like the NOC has a store there. Yeah, so, and it has Dollywood, which Elise and I went to last year, and it was amazing. So if you can fit a trip to Dollywood in your through hike, I think you've achieved some like level of greatness, because Dolly Parton's great, and so is the theme park. They have one ride called like the Heart Song, which is like Dolly Parton's childhood in the Tennessee mountains, which is amazing. So I can't help but think of like Dollywood and Dolly Parton when I'm in the Smoky Mountains. And then at the end, you'll have Fontana Dam and Fontana Village, which Elise and I drove there, but we didn't do too much around there, and there seems to be a few places to stay, but not like a can't miss area. But just figured I'd mention, like, talk about Gatlinburg a little bit, because I haven't, and Elise and I may or may not, depending on when I finish. I still don't know. Like, it could be on Thanksgiving, it could be right before, it could be right after, but if there's no possibility of like getting home or anything, then Elise and I are just gonna have our Thanksgiving down here, and possibility could be to go back to Gatlinburg and spend it in the chaos, because we kind of like that stuff. And yeah, so even though I'm not going there on the through hike, I do have it on my mind as somewhere maybe that we can go. And last thing I'll say, I think Elise is going to pick me up, so that's going to be my way of finishing the hike with Elise at the end. So much motivation now. Under 200 miles. You know, I'm looking at like 10 days. Looking at 10 days of hiking. That's it. And I'll be finished. So unbelievable. All right, day is getting close to the end. Well, daylight is getting close to the end. My day still has some work left on it. Combination of waking up late because of the cold. Very hard to get out of bed when it's well below freezing. And then Clingmans Dome. Hung out at Clingmans Dome for a while. And then there was also a shelter directly facing the sun that I couldn't pass up. Hung out there for probably half hour. And what I'm left with is 5.7 miles left, and the sun is about to set. So this could be my longest night hike of the whole trip, but I feel like I have to do it. It's gonna be freezing rain tomorrow. I can't do 20 miles in freezing rain. So I'm trading some discomfort tonight in night hiking for less discomfort in freezing rain tomorrow. So probably not going to film much else, so I will say goodbye now. It's been fun. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying all the video and pictures from the Smokies. I'll put a bunch of stuff from Clingmans Dome at the end of the video, and I hope y'all have a wonderful night. Take care. Alright, here we are. Smokies, day 4, 3? I don't know. Today is miserable. Oh man. It's like 40 degrees. Man, I don't even know if I should have my phone out. It is pouring rain, cold. I'm in all my rain gear. Yeah, this is not fun. The recording is going to be pretty short today because I just need to keep moving. Yeah, it's like right on the border of snow and rain, which is like the most dangerous in my opinion. I still have like 12 miles to Fontana Dam, so I'm just gonna try and like pump that out, go as fast as I can, keep my body heat up, get there and change, and get to a hostel. But yeah, that is it for today. I really hate being out in these conditions, but I feel like I need to get out of the Smokies. It's been a lot in a few days and I need some rest, so that's what's gonna happen. Push on to Fontana Dam in this crap weather. Here is Fontana Dam. I made it. It has been a rough day. I am definitely wet. I think my jacket did a good job not wetting out. Rain pants, not so much. Those are pretty wet all the way through. Rain mitts, also wet out. But the wool liner gloves, you can just wear those, and even when they're wet, they're still pretty warm. Yeah, I usually don't care about being, like, I don't care about being wet on the trail if it's not cold, but today it's cold. It's probably like 40 degrees right now. Here's Fontana Dam, so yeah, pretty sure I just go right across this. It's been hard to actually keep my GPS open just with the weather, but it's slowed down a little bit in the last few minutes. But yeah, I only have a few miles left today, and then I'm gonna make it to that. There's like a little Fontana Marina. Yeah, Fontana Marina, where you can do some kind of resupply. So I'm gonna go there and try and get a pickup to a hostel or a motel, and just somewhere to get dry and warm again, because it has been pretty brutal. Probably my toughest single day on trail in terms of weather conditions. This for me is a lot harder than the that deep cold day. I just, you know, if it's not wet, it's fine. I'd almost rather it be really snowy out than this kind of stuff. But it's almost over. Only maybe an hour or two, and then I should be able to get picked up and get warm and get dry. Never do resupply when you are hungry. I've gotten so much stuff, and it's just because I'm starving and I'm so hungry right now. It's so hard not to grab like every single thing around here. yeah, I only need like 2 days of food, and I've probably gotten like more like 4 or 5. But it is what it is. It's just gonna happen today.